So if you've been on the internet recently, you may have noticed that a lot of people have gone crazy, especially the software developers. And this is true and probably nothing to worry about, but something big did happen at the tail end of the last year that you should probably know about if you're just a normal kind of non-tech person. So I'm going to tell you what happened, what it means, what will happen in 2026 because of this, how you need to adapt, and a little bit of displaying what I mean. So basically, what happened last year, about November 2025, is two big things happened, right? So the AI models basically got really smart with the release of Codex 5.2 and Opus 4.5. They basically got really good at doing little tasks, right? And models that do little tasks we call agents. And we also basically everyone started to talk about AI harnesses. And AI harnesses like Cowork and Codex basically allow you to drive these models to do tasks that you would have to do yourselves, right? So what does that mean? That basically means in 2026, for the cost of $100 or $200 a month, everyone is going to get a Minion, right? And it doesn't matter if you're a software developer or a designer or a RevOps person or a HubSpot consultant, everyone's going to get a Minion. If you figure out how to use your Minion in 2026, you're going to be fine, right? But if you don't, you're going to be very far behind because here's what I'm predicting the big change of 2026 is going to be. Currently, the way everyone works, whether it's like software developer, RevOps person, is you spend 90% of your time on execution, right? And you spend 10% on strategy. If you're a RevOps person, you know, your big goal is to build this RevOps engine for the company so you can make the company more money. That's strategy, that's your, you know, innate humanness thinking about what do I do? But you spend 90% of your time, you know, trying to get that off the ground, answering questions for executives about stuff, you know, trying to fight with HubSpot just to get the thing you want done. And this was basically true for all jobs. But in 2027, your job is going to look more like this, right? You're going to spend 90% of your time thinking about that RevOps engine and how to drive the company forward. And because you have a Minion, all of this execution, most of it, 90% of it, is going to be offloaded to your Minion, and you're only going to have to click buttons a little bit of the time. You know? So that's what will happen. So how do you adapt in the year of 2026 with all this AI hype like buzzing around? The only thing you need to do is you need to learn how to use your Minion, right? And the way that you do this is you should probably experiment with Codex, right? At the time of the recording, it's free. You can get a free ChatGPT account. You can download Codex on your Mac, and probably there's a Windows version coming, and you can hook it up. And what you can do with this is you can do anything that involves a computer, right? So you can ask it to do stuff. I mean, I got it to help me with that Excalibur thing. It drew these little bars for me. But you can take your Minion and you can give it extra tools, right? So one of the big tools that you can give it is the ability to interact with a web browser. So I have my, you know, HubSpot web browser here. I have this little extension. I can say, can you go to this portal and can you add a basic snippet that I can use for a polite response to customer support inquiries? And I can send that off, and off my Minion goes, driven by the Codex harness, and it's going to think and it's going to do things, right? So the mindset you need to have for 2026 is, how do I figure out how to use this piece of software, which won't be too hard to do. It will take a couple of hours. And then you need to figure out how to add the little bits that you need so that it can interact with everything you do all day. You know, there's like a Gmail thing for interacting with your emails, and an Outlook thing for interacting with your emails, and a Playwright thing for interacting with your browser, and there's a HubSpot MCP for interacting with HubSpot. And once you get all those wired up, it's just about how do I use my Minion in the most efficient way so that I can shift all this execution work, which you probably really shouldn't be doing, off to the Minion, right? And you can see the Minion go here. You can see it's Googling snippets. You know, my hands are up here. not doing anything. It's Googling snippets. It's going to click on the snippets thing eventually. And you can see it's a little bit slow. It's slower than you or I would do. But, there's no reason why you couldn't fire off 4 of these tasks at the same time and then go get a coffee and then come back and it's done, right? It's so easy to see the power here of just offloading all these button clicks off to the Minion, and then your job just becomes, okay, what do I actually need to do with my job? If my job wasn't all just clicking around the computer, what would I do all day? Because that's what you're going to be doing in 2027, because the people who can use Minions, they're going to be using Minions to do all their execution. But there you go. So you can see it's created the snippet. Pretty nice. And then it's going to save it and it's job done, right? And that's easy. It takes a couple of hours, maybe an hour to set up. But then the value you're going to be building over 2026 is, how do I use this Minion, right? And you should be thinking to yourself, what tasks can I offload, right? Do I want to respond to this email? Maybe, if I want a human tune, right? But maybe I want to grab all the receipts from my email. That's a Minion job, I think it's done and it wants me to save. Oh, yeah, so do you want me to save? Yes. If we go back, we can do this. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen in 2026. You can see why it's super powerful. I think if you pick up this one skill of using your Minion, you'll be fine for the rest of the year. You can ignore everything else, right? Because this is going to get better and it's going to be faster. But the idea of, okay, the world has changed. What do I need to not do now? And what do I need to focus on? What can't the computer do? That's going to be big. So you need to get into this. You start using it. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to chat about it, talk to me. I'm big into this stuff. But yeah.